either way, I like to have cars and I like to help my friends out. So
Yeah.
that's the whole reason why I sold the Civic, because at the time the Civic was perfect. It ran for me. I drove it all the time,
Yep.
and it never gave me an issue. And then I sold it to Matt because I was like, this is a good car.
It is.
And I was like, and you're
And
gonna,
it still is a good
I
car.
was like,
It's
you're
a
gonna
great
like
car.
it. You're gonna enjoy it. And then so I sold it to him because I trusted him. I trust him.
Right.
So, and then when he got it, it broke down.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck,
You're
dude?
like,
I was like, how the
you're like,
hell?
this looks so bad.
I was like, how are you gonna be so good for me and then break down for
And
him?
then
I was
just
like,
be
that's
like,
so dumb. Yeah. So
what's funny is the first thing I did when it broke down, I was like, it's got to be the battery.
I felt so bad when that happened.
It's got to be the battery. So I go to Walmart, or not Walmart. What's that place called? O'Reilly's. $250 later, buy this tiny ass
tiny ass battery. Costs
battery. But I'm like, oh, this has got to be it. So I undo that and plug it back in. I'm like, all right, cool. Nothing. So I was like, well, shit, what could this be? I'm like, maybe the starter. So I go find a brand new starter. Well, it's going to take a week to get to me. So I found a refurbished one that's basically brand new because they rebuilt it. And that was like $200. And I was like, dude, I've had this car for less than a week. I've already spent $400 and it still doesn't work. I was like, it still doesn't turn on.
I felt so bad when you told me because you were like, it's not working. And I was like, it's probably just a battery or something.
Right, yeah.
I was like, it'll pass. And
the battery was old and the starter was old. Like the starter had notes, markings from Flint, Michigan. I'm like, Jesus, this has got to be 30 years old for real.
And then you told me it wasn't either one of those. And that's when I was like, fuck, dude. I was like,
it's probably the wiring.
I was like, I hope I didn't do anything. And I was like, I hope this and that.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And then you told me you fixed it, or you found the reason, which was from the mechanics over there.
Yeah.
And they said it was the wiring.
It was
and I was like, I fucking knew
the clutch wiring. Yeah.
I was like, that goddamn wiring I looked at, it was all spaghetti.
It was bad. Rough.
It looked horrible.
Which leads me to a point that I made in a video. Like, I think I did this on my Instagram, was if you do not actually know what you're doing, then don't do it.
Yeah, please stay away from it.
Don't do it. Like, it's going to cost you even more money to undo the fuck up you made. Like,
when it comes to wiring, at least.
Yeah,
I'll say this. When it comes to wiring,
especially wiring,
and if you don't know what you're doing, please stay that.
It's not plug and play. Like,
yeah, no.
One wire, it looks yellow on the outside, but there could be 3 different wires attached to that wire that lead to different areas within the vehicle. So if you snip that one thing,
one wire can connect to everything.
Right.
It can connect to your ignition.
It's the brain. It could be the brain of your. Yeah. So it's just like, if you don't, and I remember I got a little bit of hate on Instagram about this, and someone was like, well, maybe you should just throw the car away or whatever. And I was like, yeah, maybe just drive off a cliff, whatever. Do your thing, buddy. Do you, boo-boo. But I got some backlash because people were like, bro, you shouldn't be why would you take it to a mechanic? Why don't you work on it yourself? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And it's like, because I'm not a mechanic. I'm not mechanically inclined in that way, so I'm going to play to my strengths. I have no problem with taking a vehicle, any vehicle, to a mechanic. I know what my career job is, and I'm really good at that. I do not work every day on vehicles, so I'm going to take it to the person who does. And if that person doesn't know, do you really think I knew? You play to your strengths. So we do have a ton of, in the car community, there's so many people who are like
bitches,
like YouTube mechanics, right? There's nothing wrong. Like, I did the things I knew I could do.
I'm a YouTube mechanic.
Well,
I YouTube everything to get.
No. But what I mean by that is, but they're not successful in it.
Oh, okay.
Like, that used to be called a backyard mechanic. Bring me a car, put it in the backyard, and that's where it will stay forever because I don't actually know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, if you really don't know, and you're just like, well, you got to convince yourself that you can do it. Don't do it. Just take it to a mechanic and let them, or take it to a friend of yours. Because almost everybody that works on cars has somebody they know that actually knows what they're doing, and then do it together so you can learn how to do it. Otherwise, you just cause problems for the next person, because every single person does this. Bet me wrong on this. Every single person, when they buy a vehicle and they're like, oh, I love this car, I'm never gonna get rid of this car, and they do all this stuff to the vehicle, and then when they've reached that bridge that they no longer want to cross, then all the shit they did to the car that they thought to themselves, I'm going to have this car for 20 years. I don't care if I pull the door panels out. I don't care if I take the rug off. I don't care if I paint it candy pink. Whatever the fuck it was that you was a bad decision to do, but you did it anyways. Or I'm going to Jimmy rig this wiring because I'm going to have this car forever. Eventually you sell that car. It's called the kiss of death. Eventually you get to the point where you're like, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. Well, fuck it. It'll be someone else's problem. I'll sell it to them. And that's not what Kidrick did. But that's is what happened to Kidrick. That's what happened to him.
Yeah,
because he bought a vehicle from somebody. Thankfully, they only did a few things. They fucked around with something enough. But it wasn't enough to destroy the vehicle.
They destroyed a lot in there.
Oh, so he just... I just fixed the greasy thumb, bro.
The only thing I didn't mess with was the wiring. Because the wiring, I don't like messing with wiring because I know it can fuck everything up. So I left what it was, how it was. I was like, I don't do wiring.
I'm not touching
so I'm not touching it.
Which is smart, right? Look, I did the same thing. I don't do wiring. Hey, I changed the starter. I changed the battery. I was like, oh God, you're an amazing mechanic. No, but I just did what I was comfortable doing.
Yeah, and see, like I know suspension. I know suspension like the back of my hand. So that's what I usually stick to. I just stick to suspension. You know, some engine components I know.
Sure.
You know, modifications and body work. I know how to do paint
headlight and bumper and tires and suspension and brakes and a lot like. But bro, but if you're not comfortable with that,
but it's like
just go pay for someone to do it.
Yeah, if there's something that you're not really like, if you're like, I don't know if I know how to do it,
right?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah,
because then you'll most likely either take it off and not know how to put it back on.
Yeah.
Or while you're taking it off, break something in the process.
100%.
Because I know.
And then it's someone else's problem.
The first time I ever did suspension, I was taking my coil, the coil off, and I ripped my brake line. And at the time, I didn't know how to do a damn thing.
Dang, bro.
I just looked up a YouTube video. Yeah, it was horrible. I just looked up a video on how to do coilovers on the car. It was my Audi A4. I had an Audi 2006 Audi A4.
I got my car nice and low, but I can't stop for shit.
But, I mean, I was lucky because I was doing it at a friend's house, and he knows that stuff. So,
well, see, that's a part of our point.
Yeah. So,
do it with
whenever
somebody.
I ripped that brake line, I looked at him and I was like, dude, I just broke the brake line. So he was like, no issue. He went to his back, grabbed another brake line, brought it back, you know, put it up, whatever. We bled the brake and we were fine.
That's awesome.
But I was like, that's my point. It's like I didn't know how to do it, and because I went in there, you know, blind and just pulled shit, I made everything worse.
100%, always.
And I mean, I ended up keeping the car. I didn't trade. I didn't sell it away or anything, whatever, until later on down the road. And but I learned there from my mistake. Right. I was like, I don't want to go in there blind. I want to learn and do what I need to do so that way everything comes out right and nothing fucking happens like that again.
I feel like, bro, in the car community, dude, you just have so many people that end up having this like ego about like, oh, well, I did this, I did that. Hey, look, I have a friend that did the stars and the inside of his Challenger. Mm-hmm. He did it himself. And, you know, he watched a few videos, but he felt confident within his own ability. I could do that. And that's how you feel, then do it. But at any moment in time while he was doing that, I reached out, was like, hey, bro, do you need help? Like, I don't know how to do that, but I could just be there to help bounce ideas off your head so you're not by yourself.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? It really wasn't that difficult. I mean, it was a lot of physical manual labor to pull the headline around and undo everything.
It's annoying to do.
It's tedious work.
Because then you also got to try not to bend your headlight.
Your head. And then the biggest thing was poking all the holes. He had to poke all these holes and then set it up. And he was like, but bro, it looks amazing. I'm like, dang, bro, you did a hell of a job. It looks so good. And because he did a great job, all of his buddies, all of his car friend buddies that were like, I want that done. Mm-hmm. And so he got a little, but I feel like also on the flip end, you get people who, you know, they're trying to be good at everything. You're not going to be good at every aspect of it.
Just find your
niche, like your
whatever the hell that means.
So it's like,
I don't know what that means.
So niche means like it's a section within a community.
Okay.
So if you're the brake guy, you're the tire guy.
Yeah.
You're the neon light guy.
That's why I haven't painted my car yet, or the car yet. It's not mine yet. But that's why I never painted it, because I was like, I don't want to paint it, and then I have everybody come in and asking me, oh, you know, paint my car, because I was like, I don't know how to paint yet.
Right.
I was like, so I don't want anybody to see my shit. So I was like, let me paint it first, see how it comes out, and then you can come and say whatever you want.
Well, you painted fenders and bumpers.
I've painted everything.
I've
painted all parts of the cars.
Just not the whole thing at the same time.
I've painted trunks, hoods, fenders, lips, bumpers. you know, I've painted everything, wheels. I know what I'm doing.
Right.
It's just a fact of
you don't want to be held responsible for someone
exactly.
else's property.
Yeah,
that makes sense, dude. I mean, especially when there's an expectation.
Or like me telling them you can't, you know, do anything. Don't wash it. Don't do any of this for this time of period.
Right.
And then they go and do it, and they come back at me saying, "Oh, well, my paint came off," and blah blah blah. I was
Right.
like, "Okay, well, did you let it sit and actually harden,
Right.
like it's supposed to?"
Right.
And they're like, "Well, no." I'm like, "Well, that's your fucking fault."
Right. Did you drive it in a rainstorm? Well, yeah. Okay. Well, don't do
You
that.
shouldn't have gotten your car painted.
You should, yeah.
But
And
see, like I know what it takes. I know how you have to sand the whole car down. I know about Bondo. I know about filling in holes. I know how to do all that crap. I know how to do everything. It's just a matter of doing it for one, and then making sure the right amount of what is it called? The progress comes out like how I'm wanting it to come out.
right. Right.
So it's just like like that type of stuff. And I mean,
And it takes time, bro.
it does. It takes a long time.
Especially if you don't have
And
a
it's
controlled
expensive.
environment where you can
It's
do it.
expensive as fuck. Yeah, and see, I have to do everything out here. I don't have a paint booth or none of that shit. So I have to like wet the ground and then make sure there's no bugs around or whatever the hell, and then paint. And then I have to make sure the weather conditions fit.
Right.
So like I can't paint if it's
If
like
it's too hot
degrees.
or too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
So it takes a lot of time and shit that I have to do in order for me to paint something. And I mean, for the most part, I've been getting by pretty well. So I'm not really tripping about it. But
let's go.
It's all about quality. I want the quality to be A1.
Yeah, for sure. So, and so does anybody who's going to pay you to do
exactly. That. So it's like.
So tell me real quick, what were you? So you're thinking about doing some vlogging again?
Mm-hmm.
Which I 100% think you should.
I haven't done it in a long time. I did it a long time ago. I was just vlogging. I would like go places and vlog, and then I would do installs and stuff on my cars and vlog,
I think you should, bro. I mean,
But the only reason I stopped was because
you stopped.
One, I lost motivation. I just kind of stopped caring.
Yeah.
And then two, I was in it for the money. I wasn't doing it for fun.
Okay.
So I was like, I want to get paid for YouTube, you know.
And then you didn't get paid.
I was young. So I did all that, but like now I'm doing more of this YouTube stuff for fun. So like we do the podcast,
right?
Which is not so much for fun. I want to do it and get serious about it,
right?
And then I do my gaming channel, which is just because I love video games, and it's like I've always played video games since I was a kid. So, and then cars, a vlogging channel for cars because I love cars. Cars are my passion. But it's just like I said, it's just more of a motivation thing, and me getting out there and doing it. And being able to have content to put out.
Yeah. And bro, if you ever need someone, if you get tired of holding the camera, you can always just ask, bro, if you're doing something, just ask me. I'll come over and videotape. Yeah. I'll just hold the video.
Like video the whole
process. I'll just video it.
Because I mean, like I said, I've been thinking about it. It's not a for sure thing. Because I do have a second channel for my gaming channel, but I don't even use that for gaming. So I'm thinking about just using that for my vlogging.
Yeah.
Because I already have it set up. I have everything there.
I'm thinking about building a React channel. I already built the channel. I just haven't. I gotta buy the software to do it because I love. I mean, I watch so many YouTube videos. I mean,
I've always loved recording. I like when I was vlogging.
It's fun,
at
bro.
a certain time, I loved it because of the fact that I'm recording myself and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and then it just got to the point where I was like,
it's hard when you don't have something.
This isn't fun anymore,
right?
And then that too, I was like, it's hard for me to.
Then you just sit there and talk about what you want to do.
Exactly.
And it's like, who wants to hear that?
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
There are people. It was kind of like when I had the I'm Just Saying channel with the cards. I was really, actually, man, proud of myself. I mean, I grew. Originally, I had a handful of subscribers I was stuck on 55 for like the longest time. And then, boom, not out of nowhere, out of hard work and dedication, I grew to 300. I was like, dude, that's like
a lot of it was the shorts.
Right. It was shorts and it was giveaway, right? That was the other thing. It's like I would give away stuff. So people would subscribe because they could earn free stuff. And it's like, hey, whatever, bro. But then I made certain stipulations and told people like, hey, look, if you want to be entered into this drawing, it's not just subscribing, commenting, and sharing the video and all this stuff. Go to my Instagram and make noise over there too.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I did. I gave away a whole bunch of stuff and threw away a bunch of stuff too. But yeah, bro, it's like, you know what? Naturally, I think what happens for us sometimes is we watch these YouTubers we see the highlight reel of their life. We don't see the behind the scenes. We don't see the days when they're not motivated and they're struggling. They don't broadcast that.
Yeah, no.
But for me, I'm like, I'm a pretty authentic, transparent type of person.
Yeah.
Hey, if I gotta be okay with making a video and that says like, hey man, I don't have money to do this yet, but this is what I want to do, or I'm waiting for this, and it's not always a highlight reel because life isn't.
The thing I always did, I think this is a big reason why I kind of stopped vlogging, was because I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't.
Okay, 100%.
Like in my videos, if you, well, I don't have them anymore, but if you were to look back at my videos,
like, what's up, gang?
I was upbeat. I was like super like
trying to be like
full of energy and all this other stuff.
You gotta be you, bro.
But in reality, I'm not like that. I'm not upbeat. I'm not full of energy. Most of the time I'm tired.
You are sometimes, bro.
I mean, when I'm like awake and I'm actually like really amped for the day and I got like a good amount of sleep, I'm good. I'm happy. I'm upbeat, whatever. But for the most part, I'm always tired. So, I was never being me. I would act. I'd make myself look like I was a fucking cool upbeat kid guy. I was always happy and stuff. Trying to come out with merch super early. I only had like 78 subscribers, and I made merch. And
that's cool.
I lost money more than gaining money.
Yeah, of course.
So I mean, it's all life lessons.
Yep.
But the thing is I think the big reason why I stopped was because I wasn't being me.
I was
trying to be
true to yourself. Yeah. So and you have to be if you're gonna do that stuff. That's why I love this, bro.
Yeah.
This is.
See, that's what I like about the podcast. I don't have to be somebody.
Right.
I'm me.
Right. You don't have to be like, what's up, guys? It's another great day. In the video today, we're going to be exploring why ants don't poop. Like whatever. I don't know, whatever.
I leave all the upbeat crap up to you.
Yeah, that's me.
But the vlogs, I don't know. It just got annoying. Acting like somebody else, not being me myself.
Right.
And it pissed me off half the time because I was like, dude, that's not me.
Right. Because when you go back, that was kind of, bro, similar situation when I had Motor Madness. I had my Motor Madness channel. That I think I only got up to like 70 or 80 subscribers. But the biggest thing for me is what I didn't realize was, hey, man, you got to be committed to whatever you decide to be committed to. So if you're going to make videos, go find a way to make it happen. And at that time, I was living in Houston. I didn't have my own vehicle, but I lived in a downtown area. And I could have taken the bus. I could have taken an Uber. There's a ton of things I could have done. But because it didn't suit what I wanted, I made excuses and didn't do it. And then I got discouraged and depressed and sad. And so I deleted everything and just got rid of it and wiped it clean. And then that pissed me off even more because all I really needed to do was just make a video and be like, yo, here's my current situation. I don't have a car. I don't have a vehicle. I want to go to these meets and do this stuff. So now we're just going to do some vlogging until I can get to the next meet. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah.
It's hard if you don't know it's an option. And if what you're watching and who you're subscribed to has a highlight reel and their life looks perfect, it looks awesome, it looks grand, it looks amazing, there's never any struggle in their life, bro, that's not real life.
No.
You are going to struggle more than you're going to feel like you're succeeding in life, but that's part of life.
That and going at your own pace.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Never like overdo it. I mean, yeah, you can. It's better if you do video like back to back every week, or every day. That helps so much. But the thing is like, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I'm not doing this for money. I'm not after that anymore.
Right.
Because
if it shows up, it shows up. If
exactly. I'm more into this because it's fun. I like doing this stuff. I like recording myself. As I got older, I started to realize that it's not about the money. It's more about just me having fun and being able to record myself.
Yeah.
And that's what I do enjoy because I did it for a while and I actually did like recording myself. At first, I was shy as hell, but now I could care less. So, like now doing the podcast, doing my gaming channel, I'm having fun doing those.
Yeah, it is fun.
And then so I was like, well, I do want to vlog because I want to get, I want to show people car stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's people out there, like I have a couple friends who are like, I don't know what to do. And I have to explain it over the phone and be like, hey, unplug this, do that, blah, blah, blah.
Right. So how-to videos, I watched a video, how to change a battery. I'm 37 years old. I know how to change it, but I wanted to make sure I know how to change it. So I just watched it, and there was a 15-minute video. I said, bro, 15 minutes to explain how to. Then I didn't watch it because it just blew me away. How could you spend 15 minutes talking about changing a battery? I watched a 13.5-second short, and I was like, it had like 800 million views.
Yeah.
So in 13 seconds.
There's people out there who don't know how to do anything.
Right. I'm like, 13 seconds.
It blows my mind, but it's like, it's also understandable.
I'm like, anyways, I was like,
because there's some people that just don't think about this stuff. They're like, oh, I get a car, I drive it, it breaks, I get rid of it, get another one.
Right. Or I just but you know, I'm not mindless where I'm like, oh well, if I, I'm just gonna bring everything to the mechanic. I will if I don't know, but I'll take a look at it. If it depends on. I think sometimes it also depends on your financial condition and situation. If you're in a position where your money is so tight and it's stretched so thin, then you are forced to make do with what you have. And sometimes,
me, for instance, like for me, my money is tight.
But you got a lot, man. You got a family, bro.
Yeah,
you got
3 kids and a woman, so
bills, bro.
So it's like
you got real life bills.
Yeah, so I have all that stuff. But
I just create bills for myself.
Because of that, because I know that I'm tight with money, I learned how to work on
out of necessity.
Stuff. Yeah,
and it's paid off for you.
Yeah,
and now it's a business.
Exactly, and so like I know so much about cars, and I know all about not all about them, like wiring I don't fuck with, but I know a good amount of cars. I know enough to get me by. Exactly.
And what has grown and evolved.
Yeah,
and it creates an opportunity.
And so
for you.
And then I never act like I know how to do something that I don't. Because I had a friend who was like, "Oh, I have some wiring issues, for my radio and blah blah blah." I was like, "Dude, I don't know how to do that."
Yeah.
I was like, "I am not gonna try to do that." I was like, "If you need help, I'll help you. Just point me in what direction you need me in."
Go to AutoZone.
Yeah,
for that
but
one.
I was like, I'm not gonna try to do something I don't know how to do.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna try to pretend like I know everything in the damn world because I don't. I'm not a mechanic. I don't call myself a mechanic. I just say that I know things. I was like, I know enough to get me by.
Yeah, and your cars, like what cars you're super comfortable working on. Like I remember I had a question about the Honda, and you were like, "Huh? No, it's this." Da da da. And I was like, "Damn, that makes sense actually." Like. I didn't even think about that. But each car has its own little thumbprint.
I've always loved Hondas. Hondas have always been my go-to car, because like everything I had, every car I've had, I'll look at it, in a certain way, and sometimes I'm kind of like, what? Like I don't get it, and I like scratch my head and shit, and then I end up fixing it later on. But then whenever I have a Honda, I get it like immediately.
Yeah.
Like with my red Honda,
they're so plug and play, dude. It's stupid. It's whenever I open that hood, I feel like I'm looking inside of the engine bay of like a 1960s like Ford Mustang. It's everything's so open and spread open,
and it's right there in front of you.
And it's right there.
Like in the Euro cars, dude, they hide everything. Like your thermostat's under your intake,
but also
this and that.
This is especially because the new cars, bro, they're built by machines in a factory.
Yeah.
They're not built with hands anymore. They're built with machines that are itty bitty tiny that your hands would never get in.
Yeah.
So when I look at all these new cars, I'm like, yes, they're built in a way where you have to take it to the mechanic. You have to take it to the shop. You have to take it to the dealership. Because you can't get in there with your hands.
I mean, you could, but you'd have to go through a lot of shit just to get to it.
I can't get in there with my hands. Okay.
I mean, you could. We could take the engine out.
I got them, Vienna sausage finger hands.
Big meaty claws.
Big meaty claws. Bear claws. I gotta bounce here soon.
Right.
But this is fun.
This works good. Out. This is nice. I like the mic.
I hope this thing recorded. Yay!